Where do you have family from? Where do you have family from?
Indiana.
Indiana. Somewhere else?
Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
To be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
To be together on this day. Hinei matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad means literally, as we say in English, how good it is, how sweet it is that we are together here today. And we say to one another, we say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, this is practice. We have a whole bunch of people who are viewing this morning Shabbat actually at home or from around the world. And we have some cameras in the back. And I want you to turn and say Shabbat Shalom to the cameras. We're going to welcome everyone who's viewing from online. We're going to say Shabbat Shalom. And that was great, also great practice for turning to the north, the south, the east, the west, and to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone who is around you, and just center ourselves with the fact that we're with a whole bunch of new people around us. So say Shabbat Shalom to the people who are around you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Toes to the beam. Toes to the beam. Toes to the beam.
Don't fall in the gap.
My name is Rabbi Asher Knight, and I am a rabbi here at Temple Bethel, and it is my pleasure to welcome each of you here for our Shabbat morning services. Shabbat in our Jewish tradition is a reminder of the 6 days of creation, and that on the seventh day God rested. And we emulate God by actually taking time away from the hustle and bustle of the world, and to allow ourselves a gift of just being right here, right in this moment, to be with one another, to pray, but also to refresh and renew our souls. And so we have this thing on many cell phones. There's a thing that looks like an airplane. We call it Shabbat mode. And I want to invite you you can turn your phone to Shabbat mode, to airplane mode. You can let the outside world be the outside world and just be here, present in this oasis of time. And it is an oasis of time because each and every Shabbat when we come here, the people who are here are different than the week before. In fact, the people who are sitting in the seats here are different than the people who sat in the seats exactly a week ago or even last night. That each and every service that we have is a unique experience. But one thing that connects us, one thing that draws us together are the words of our tradition, are the prayers that we have. And so you have underneath your seats a prayer book. It is a blue prayer book. And you can take your prayer book out, all right? You found it. Good. If it's not blue, you're here at the wrong season. And you have a blue prayer book. And what's interesting about this is that this is like a map of major ideas and prayers that we have in the Jewish tradition about our bodies and love and health and well-being, and about the way in which we walk in the world and the values that we want to express as we do so. And on the screens in front of the room are also all of the prayers. If you find yourself getting lost, there's 2 tips that I want to give you. One, on the lower right-hand side of the screen is a page number. That's a great tip, okay? And then second, if you're really, really lost, turn the page. That's probably where we are, okay? Now, Now, it turns out that on this Shabbat morning, at this service, Rachel and Jake are going to be leading us entirely, right? And when I say leading us, what I mean to say is this is not a performance. This is us participating in the service. So everywhere they're reading in English, you should read along in English as well. And everywhere they're reading in Hebrew, you should participate in Hebrew as well. And you're like, Rabbi, but I don't even know Hebrew. We have you covered. We have transliteration from Hebrew into Latin letters, and you can participate. And if you don't know the tunes, Lie, Lie, Lie works really well in Jewish settings, okay? So participate in this morning service. Help us lead our Shabbat morning service as one community, and we have an opportunity to thank God for our lives and our souls with the words of Elohai Neshama on page 196.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenata bi tehorahi, tehorahi. Ata virata, ata yitzarta, ata nefata, nefata bi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenatata bi tehorahi, tehorahi. Ve'ata mishamira. Ve'ata mishamira. Ve'ata mishamira. Mishamira bikirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenatata bi tehorahi, tehorahi.
In just a few moments, we will all pray the words of the Baruch Hu. The Baruch Hu is a call to prayer, meaning that the service leader tells everyone that it is time to bless God, and everyone who is here does just that and blesses God. In our service today, Jake and I will be the ones leading, and we really hope that you all will respond with the blessing. The version that we sing today is by contemporary composer Noah Aronson. Noah's version is an interpretation of the prayer that adds an English introduction to the Hebrew. These words help us ask ourselves if we are ready to pray. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? I want everyone to just take a moment and think about what these words might mean to you. For me, these words help me to not only get ready to pray, but also ask myself, am I ready for my day? Ready to be the person I really want to be? For instance, it helps me ask if I am in the right mindset to make good choices, to be kind to others, to accomplish my goals, to open my eyes and take in and appreciate my surroundings. I feel like there are so many things I want to do, and being able to get everything done while also appreciating what I'm doing helps me feel both accomplished and happy. Each time I sing this prayer, it helps me to ask these important questions of myself. I hope that when we pray Baruch Hu in just a little while, This prayer will help each and every one of us to feel more joy, more gratitude, and be able to ask yourself just the right questions to be in the right mindset for your day.
Later on in our service, we will chant the Ve'ahavta. The Ve'ahavta is a quote from the Torah that we recite in every service like a prayer. It is about loving God with all your heart, soul, and might. It explains that we must pass God's instructions on to our kids. It tells us that we should bring all of God's commandments with us wherever we go. Always have them in our minds and follow them. One of the sentences in the Ve'ahavta that stands out to me is, "Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments." This statement comes towards the end of the prayer. Before this sentence, the prayer is essentially saying that you should love God and explains in detail different ways to show love for God. It is also very explicit about when and where we should think of God, God's love, and God's commandments, such as that we should be mindful of the commandments when you lie down and when you rise up. This is another way of saying that we should be mindful and fulfilling God's commandments all the time. In my family, one of the ways that we show love is through taking care of one another, even chores. Sometimes we do good at our chores, and sometimes we forget to make our bed. One of my chores is folding laundry. I don't do it because I like folding laundry. I do it because I care about my family and want them to have clean clothes. When you fold laundry, I recommend playing a game called Match It. In this game, you take a shirt, shorts, pants, and socks and see if you can make a good outfit all while folding. If you make a good outfit, you give yourself a pat on the back and then you keep folding laundry. If you don't make a good outfit, you keep folding laundry. The Ve'ahavta is kind of like folding laundry. It says that you should love God and show it through your actions. When I'm folding laundry, I have fun, but also have a sense of responsibility that comes from love. We feel we have a responsibility to follow God's commandments and also to feel God's love. I love God a lot and often feel a sense that God is with me. Whenever I am doubting myself, facing something challenging, frightening, or stressful, I pray. I found out that when I pray, eventually the situation gets better. It makes me feel supported and that God is with me through hard times. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. In light blinded we saw that inner and outer words are one, as you are one. You spoke as we wrote, We reach for you down the centuries, your light moving us as we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai for life. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uchol nafshecha uchol meodecha vechayu hadarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantan levanecha, vidivartam bam, vishivtecha, vivitecha, uvleftecha, vaderech, uvshokbecha, uvkumecha, uvshartam leot al yadecha, vechayu letotafot bein einecha, uktavtam, al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tiskeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hem kedoshim le'elchechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hosei tiechem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
You have stayed long enough in this place,
God said, time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross the sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song.
Yai lai 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 yai la 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 yai lai 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 la 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'edav kodesh, Torah tehila osefelet, Torah tehila osefelet.
Shira chadasha shibechu geulim l'shimcha sefatayam yachad kulam hodu v'himlichu ve'ameru
Adonai imo ve'olam va'ed, Adonai imo ve'olam va'ed.
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Zur Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael ufedechenu melcha Yehuda v'Yisrael go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la Shafatai Tita, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, 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 yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu V'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'chonei Hakol V'zocher Hastei Avot V'imachot U'mevii Geula Libnei Bneihem Leman Shmo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechapel Chaim B'Chesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somer Nofelim Verofei Cholim Umatir Atzurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melech Melech Be'mi Tu Mechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua Ve'eman Atah Chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol
Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam Keshim shemakdishi tobish b'marom kakatuv yad neviecha v'kara ze el ze ve'abar
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tsevaot Meloch haaretz kevodo
Adir, Adiredu, Adonai, Adonai, Ma'adir, Shivcha Becho Haaretz.
Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo
Echad Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avidu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachaba Le'idei Kochai. Adi Adonai Elohechem
Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohai Sion Ledor Vador Hallelujah
Ledor Vador Nagid Gadlecha U'netzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nagdish V'shiuchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי
Shabbat.
כולם ישבעו ויתן במטבעך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. והשיר רצית בו וקידשתו
Shabbat.
עמדת ימים אותו קראת
Shabbat.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית
Shabbat.
זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We now take time for silent prayer.
Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'iru
Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ye'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen.
We come now to Seder Kriyat Torah, the Shabbat, the service for the reading of the Torah on Shabbat morning. And this Shabbat is a unique Shabbat in our congregation because it is the Shabbat, and we're going to hear a little more about that. I don't want to steal any thunder. Is that right? We're going to hear a little more. Jake's like, no, you're not going to steal any thunder, but I might. This Shabbat, the Torah reading on this Shabbat is actually the Torah reading from where our congregation receives our name. It is the Torah portion in which our ancient ancestor, Jacob, takes has an experience which we'll hear about more in a second, but actually takes a stone and anoints a stone and calls it Beit El, a place of God. And what does it mean to be a place of God? A place of God is a place where we are actually able to see one another, to know one another, to hear one another. It's a place where we are able to share the most challenging parts of our story, and then also to write and to be co-authors of a new possibility in tomorrow. And our Jewish tradition tells us that when we take the Torah out, what we're doing is we're taking out words of our tradition that have been with us for thousands of years, and we're choosing to hold them in our arms and to walk with those values in our lives. And the greatest guarantee that our tradition is going to last for a very long time does not rest upon the prophets and the sages of our people or the rabbis and cantors of our people and the teachers of our people. But it rests in our commitment and our variability to take the Torah and to place it into the hands of our young people so that they can walk with the values, so that they can make sure that they constantly create a temple Beth El or a Beit El, a place of God, where people can be seen and heard and understood for who they are, where they can be loved, where we can warmly embrace one another and live with the values of our tradition. On Shabbat mornings, we have a sacred reenactment of a time and place in which the Torah was given to our people. And we imagine that the ark that's right behind us is kind of like a virtual Mount Sinai, where we actually receive the Torah and pass it lador vador from generation to generation. And so that means that we're going to have a lot of people up here in just a moment to help in that sacred reenactment. And then all of you are going to be invited to help as well. To come open the ark and to help us take the Torahs out of the ark are Jan and Barry Goldfarb, Lori Rosen, and Maura Friedman. I want to invite you to please come behind us to the ark doors. I'm going to ask Jake and Rachel if you will go stand in your places. And then to join Jake, right by him is going to be, of course, his parents, Alexis and Chris, and his sister Lauren. I'm going to have you come up and stand next to him. And then Carol Sternstein, Jerry Sternstein, Darlene Schwartz, Ed Wilson, Mona Schwartz, David Schwartz, if you will come forward, and please come stand in a line next to them. And then Rachel, I'm going to invite Mark and Karen, if you will come forward, as well as Marcia and Marty Rosen, and Jean and Jerry Friedman, and Leon Friedman, and Scott Rosen. And if you're wondering why it took 40 years, organizing ourselves into rows of people are not our people's strong suit. What we're going to do is invite everyone to also please stand as we remove the Torah from the ark. This is kind of hard, but I invite you to please take specifically Jake and Rachel, take one step forward, come off the bima for 1 second, and turn and face your families. Perfect. And this is important. And Rachel, if you need to go around the bend over there to just make sure you see everyone, and Jake, if you need to go around and make sure that you see everyone. Can you see everyone? Okay. It is not every day that you have your families exactly like this before you. It is not every day that you get to see the generations of people who have loved you and cared for you and taught you and helped, in some cases, I think, tickle and hug you for sure as well. That happened. But also who have placed the Torah, the Dor Vador, from generation to generation into your arms. These are people who care for every bit of you and who lovingly walk with you in your life. I'm going to invite the two of you to stand back in line as we're going to pass the Torah into your arms. Touch the Torah if you want to touch the Torah. Thank you. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
I lost all my t-shirts last week because you moved them.
Oh, okay.
Just letting you know that I found myself without them. I wanted to stay there.
Oh, okay.
I have an extra one here.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romenu. Ki kadosh
Am I speaking before her?
Yes, but not yet. Soon. Oh, you guys can close. Yes, thank you. Do you want to help?
There's Carol and Jerry Sternstein.
Carol?
Come on. Carol and Jerry Sternstein, if you'll come forward. Carol and Jerry. Here, will you take this? Will you take this off?
Be a helper.
You take this, pull this right here. Perfect. Thank you. Devarim.
Read this and then I read that.
Yeah. But not immediately. We'll call it to people. Slow. Devarim. Hold on.
Yeah.
2 pages. Remember, slow and loud. You gotta be loud. That's it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Slow and loud. That's it.
This morning, we are here at Temple Bethel. Behind me, there is a beautiful ark with a rainbow ladder, glass wall that reaches towards the heavens. Above the ark are the words, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, meaning surely God is in this place. This ark is meaningful because it has a relationship with my Torah portion. This morning, I will chant from Parashat Vayetze, which comes from the book of Genesis. Our ancestor Jacob, whose name is really familiar to me, fled from Beersheba after he tricked his father and brother, fearing his own death. He made a journey to Haran, the birthplace of his mother Rebekah. As the sun set, Jacob collected a stone to use as a pillow while he slept. I highly suggest not using a stone as a pillow. If you find yourself in the deserts of Israel a few thousand years ago fleeing your twin brother, a stone pillow might just be a better option than a thorny bush. Back to the story. When Jacob was sleeping, he began to dream of a ladder going from heaven to earth. It's kind of like the ladder right behind me. In his dream, the ladder had angels traveling up and down it. God promises to protect Jacob and his family and to give Jacob the land that God initially gave to his father Isaac and his grandfather Abraham. When Jacob woke up, he was awestruck. It's an incredibly vivid dream and a conversation with God, no less. Jacob took the stone that he slept on and built a monument to God. Jacob called the monument Beit El, or in modern English transliteration, Bethel. That is why this temple Bethel chose to create an ark that looks like Jacob's ladder, because this congregation is named after the ark that Jacob used to create a monument for God. In Jewish tradition, dreams are considered signs of divine. Some argue that the ladder in Jacob's dream represents the unbreakable bond between heaven and earth and between God and the people. In the dream, Jacob didn't try to climb the ladder. After waking up, he didn't try to climb a mountain to get closer to God. Jacob wasn't confused that he could somehow access God by climbing to the heavens, which is an impossible thing to do. You can't just climb to heaven on a ladder. So, Jacob dedicated the rock and taught us all that when we can't go to God, we should try and bring God to earth. I think that is an important lesson for all of us, each of us to help build God's home, like Jacob, right here through showing kindness to each other, having gratitude, supporting one another, and creating more justice. Yes, we can build temples and places for God, but what really brings God into our world are our actions and doing good for one another. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh. Surely God is in this place. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. For the first aliyah today, I'd like to invite a bat mitzvah of our congregation, college student extraordinaire, your sister, Lauren Schwartz.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayetze Yaakov mi be'er shava, vayelech harana, vayivka b'makom, vayelen sham, kiva hashemesh, vayishkav me'avnei hamakom, vayasem mera ashotav, vayishkav hamakom hahu. Vayachalom v'hinei sulam, Motza, Artza, Verosho, Magia, Hashamayma, Vihine, Malache, Elohim, Lim, Yordim, Bo.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'toheinu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. I want everyone to say the words Yesher. Say Koach. Put that together. Say Yesher Koach. We say Yesher Koach for honoring Shabbat and honoring the Torah, honoring your brother, for whatever kinds of big sister things you do to him, I mean with him, and we I say Yesher Koach, keep up the strength. It is my pleasure to invite forward your parents, Chris and Alexis. Chris, come over here.
I go first?
Yep.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with the wisdom of Torah, giving it to the Jewish people as their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher barakar banu michol ha'amin, v'talanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'hinei Adonai nitztav alav, vayomar ani Adonai Elohei Avraham, Avicha v'Elohei Yitzchak ha'aretz, asher ata shochlev alecha lecha etnena uzarecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life for the people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
We all say Yesher Koach.
Yesher Koach.
Keep up the strength for raising wonderful kids in our congregation, and just this beautiful thing for all that you do in our community. Mazel Tov. Come give them a big hug.
Oh.
So proud. Thanks. You're doing awesome. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Jake. It's our privilege to invite you, Jacob Drew Schwartz, to chant from the Torah as a bar mitzvah. Ya'amod, Yaakov Dror ben Adina v'Chris, habar mitzvah la aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'haya zaracha ke'efar haaretz, ufaretz tav, Yama Vakadma Vitzafona Negba Venivrehu Mecha Kol Mishbechot Ha'adema Uzarecha Vichine Anohi Imach Ushmarticha Becho Asher Teleich Uzarecha Vichama Shivoticha Al Ha'adema Hazoki Lo Ezocha Ad Asher Imasiti E Asher Divarti La Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. And we say aloud, Yasher Koach. And Mazel Tov for all the ways that you have honored the Torah, for you honored Shabbat as you become a bar mitzvah in our community and leading us in Shabbat morning services. A beautiful job. Why don't you have a whole group that wants to give you another hug.
One more hug.
Hug.
Day of the many
yeah,
hugs.
absolutely.
The day of a million hugs.
You trade with Rachel.
My Torah portion, Parshat Vayetzi, is found in the book of Genesis. Earlier in the Torah portion tells the story of how our ancient ancestor, Jacob, journeyed from Beersheba to Haran. In the part that I'm going to chant from, Jacob arrives in Haran, the city that he was sent to by his mother, Rebekah. Jacob was searching for his uncle, Lavan. When he arrived in Haran, he asked some shepherds if they knew of Lavan and where his uncle lived. They introduced Jacob to his first cousin, Rachel, Lavan's daughter. Jacob met Rachel and was immediately smitten and in love. Yes, you heard that right. Jacob fell in love with his first cousin. Yeah, very fun stuff to talk about for a 13-year-old. Anyways, Rachel introduced Jacob to her father, Lavan, and to her sister, Leah. Lavan invited Jacob to stay with his family, provided that he work as a shepherd. After a while, Jacob wanted to marry Rachel. Yup, you know it. He wanted to marry his first cousin. He worked for 7 years, and finally, Lavan agreed to let Jacob marry Rachel. On the morning after their wedding, Jacob woke up and discovered that he was with Leah and not Rachel. Lavan had tricked Jacob to marry Leah, his oldest daughter. Upset with the situation, Jacob agreed to work for 7 more years in order to marry Rachel. By the end of the story, Jacob has married Leah, Rachel, as well as 2 of their maids. As a side note, to this day, in Jewish weddings, we confirm that each individual is who they say they are. So, you might be thinking, whoa, that's the Torah portion? What is that supposed to teach a 13-year-old, or all of us? Some people would argue that the Torah portion teaches about hard work and patience, even through deception. It took Jacob 14 years to marry the woman he loved, and some would say that we can remain devoted to goals that we are passionate about. But if I'm being honest, I think there are some major issues with this Torah portion. An uncle deceiving a nephew, cousins marrying cousins, a single man marrying sisters and their maids, and so many children. Can you imagine celebrating Passover or Thanksgiving with this family? They would all be angry and dysfunctional. Yikes. But this teaches us an important lesson, too. Our Torah elevates these people as our ancient ancestors. We are descendants of Jacob and Rachel and Leah. They are not perfect, and neither are we. Sometimes our families are complicated. Sometimes we make mistakes. both big and small. The Torah doesn't try to show us perfect examples of human beings. Rather, it teaches us that we can create a family and journey together, even through really, really tough and messed up situations. Life is complex. We don't learn from perfect people. Rather, we learn from and grow because of our mistakes. Shabbat Shalom.
For the fourth Aliyah this morning, I'd like to invite forward Jean and Jerry Friedman, Marcia and Marty Rosen. Hold on for 1 second. Sorry, come over here. It's right here. Just this first paragraph right here. Okay. Right here.
You want us to start?
Holy, let's go.
Okay.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with the wisdom of the Torah, giving it to the Jewish people as their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai
Hamvarach Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam V'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bacha Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'atananu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Elohein HaTorah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Notan Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. All right, excuse me. Look at the English. Excuse me for 1 second. Just step aside for 1 second. Right here.
Second paragraph?
Which one?
This one, okay.
Okay, you ready? You're
Yeah.
perfect.
Holy One of blessing,
your presence fills creation. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life
for the
people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful One, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen.
Amen.
And we say, Yesher Koach,
Yesher Koach.
for honoring the Torah and honoring Shabbat, and give her a hug. She already came to you. And if you will come and stand on the other side of Cantor Thomas. For the fifth Aliyah, I'd like to invite forward your parents, Mark and Karen.
Baruch Hu Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Barach Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer lahem haydatem et Lavan ben Nahor vayomeru yadanu. Vayomer lahem hashalom lo. Vayomeru shalom v'hine Rachel bito ba'a im hatzon. Vayomer hein od hayom gadol. Lo eid he'asef hamikdeh hashku hatzon ulehu re'u. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah v'chayei olam natan v'techenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say Yasher Koach for raising wonderful kids in our congregation and for all of the things that you do day in and day out and for honoring Torah and Shabbat and for Rachel and all of this. We say keep up the strength and give her a big hug.
All right, and for the honor of the final aliyah, Rachel, we call you to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. Ta'amod Rachel Hinda bat Chaya Mercha u'Moshe Yitzchak habat mitzvah la aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayomeru lo nucha ad asher ye'asefu chol ha'adarim v'galalu et ha'even me'al pi ha'be'er v'hishkinu hatzon odenu medaver imam v'rachel ba im hatzon Asher le'aviha ki ro'ahi vayehi ka'asher ra'a Yaakov et Rachel bat Lavan achi imo ve'etzon Lavan achi imo vayigash Yaakov Vayagel et ha'eved me'al pi ha'be'er v'hishku et hatzon ran achi imo vayash Yaakov le'Rachel vayisa et kolo vayeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And we say out loud, Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
For leading us in services today and for your mastery of Torah and also teaching us and for honoring Shabbat in our community. Yasher Koach, keep up the strength, keep doing it in Mazel Tov. As we have the Torah out, Each time we have the Torah out, we take a moment to think of people in our community who are in need of healing. A healing of mind and body and spirit and soul. We have names of people in our congregation who we pray for each and every week, and we're going to scroll their names right now. And as we do, we also recognize that there might be people that you're thinking about. People who are in hospital rooms or people who are might be right next to you who are also in need of healing. And as my eyes go around the congregation today, I want to invite you to say either out loud or even silently in your own heart the names of people that you're praying for on this day who are in need of healing of mind and body and spirit and soul. And we take the names of our congregation, the names that are said out loud, and we pray for them as one community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, O God, who supports those in need.
Mishabera avotenu mekor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabera imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
It is my pleasure and excitement to invite forward Sophia Friedman and Lauren Schwartz to please come back to the bima and up to the bima. And we as a congregation are going to rise as we dress and return the Torah back to the ark. Thank you. Please see it. In Jewish tradition, on Saturday mornings, we read from something that which is called the Haftarah. The Haftarah, which in Hebrew means an additional reading. Haftarah, when I was 13, I thought Haftarah meant half the Torah. That's not accurate. Haftarah means an additional reading, and the reason why we read an additional reading on Shabbat mornings is it actually is a really an old custom in our tradition, because there were times and places that Jews lived where we were forbidden to read from the Torah. That the government of the place where we lived forbade us from reading from the Torah. And so the way that the rabbis got around that is that they actually connected the words of the Torah to special pieces of the writings and the prophets primarily, other places in the Hebrew Bible that wasn't the 5 books of Moses. And what they did is they connected it to different parts of the Hebrew Bible based on the theme of the Torah portion, or perhaps even the season of the year that we're in. And so this morning's reading comes from Hosea, and it is connected to the Torah portion itself. It's connected to the travels and to the journeys of our people. But it is an additional reading that we read. We've kept that tradition alive, that on Saturday mornings we continue with the thematic tradition of connecting the words of the Torah to the words of our prophets and our sages. You're going to hear the blessing first chanted by Jacob, and then the Haftarah and the blessing by Rachel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'i tovim v'ratza v'divreihem ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'Nevi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Ephraim mali od latzavim aniti v'ashurenu. Ani kivrosh ra'anan mimeni peryechadim sar mi chacham beyaved ele navon beyedaim ki yesharim darchei Adonai b'tzadikim al chuvam ufoshim yekashuluvam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zor kol ha'olamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'emad ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber imkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hadvirim ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך, ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך, בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
Amen. We say Yesher Koach.
On a day like today, I am grateful to many different people, including my family, friends, teammates, and coaches who are here today from near and far. I would like to thank my tutors, teachers, and clergy, Rabbi Knight and Cantor Mary. I especially want to thank you two for your help and support. A huge mazel tov to my partner Rachel and her family. You did a great job today. Even as we celebrate, we also remember those who we loved and are no longer with us today. On this day, I want us all to remember my Uncle David. To my aunts and my uncles and extended family, thank you for your presence in my life. To my grandparents from Charlotte to Indiana, thank you for your love, kindness, and generosity. Lauren, you are my best friend ever. Thank you for all of the late-night Wendy's trips and Target runs. I miss you a lot when you were at school, but I know you were just one phone call away. Mom, Miss Schwartz, you are an amazing and incredible support for me, guiding and helping me through life. It takes so much energy to keep us all organized, and you seem to do it effortlessly. I'm not sure how that's possible. Thank you for being an awesome parent, friend, and mentor. Dad, you are my best buddy. You have encouraged me to practice baseball and basketball while helping me with my homework, even if it's at midnight. Even when you yell at the TV because Indiana is not good at football, I still love watching the games with you. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Mom and Dad, please join me on the beat.
Jake, your mom and I want to express how incredibly proud of you we are. You approach this challenge like you do everything in life, with strong commitment and, of course, your signature smile. Since you're a little guy, your smile has lit up a room. It warms our hearts, but it also represents your positive nature and spirit and the energy you project to our family, for all your friends, and, of course, your teammates. Over the years, teachers, coaches, and so many other folks have told us how much they appreciate your smile, your positive attitude, and call out your leadership skills. Becoming a bar mitzvah takes a lot of hard work and a ton of preparation, certainly. And a lot of the time that you spent getting ready for your bar mitzvah took away from a lot of the activities that you would have rather been doing. But I think you still you approach this challenge with a great deal of commitment, and I just again want to say how proud we are of you.
So that positive attitude and leadership skills, they're characteristics that we hope you'll carry with you throughout your life. As Winston Churchill said, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. This positive spirit is not only what can help to define your success in life, but also you as a human being. This happiness is not only important to your own life, but also impacts your friends and your family and the greater community. So in your Devar Torah, you spoke about the importance of the Jewish community here at Bethel and bringing God to earth, building God's home through showing kindness to each other, having gratitude, and supporting one another. You may not realize it, Jake, but you are a community builder. Your infectious smile and your positive energy, they attract people and they create warmth and support and fun wherever you go. So as you mature and as you become a member of this community at Bethel and in Charlotte and beyond, we hope you will continue to be a valued community builder and leader. Embrace your positive attitude and let that signature, Jake Schwartz smile, shine bright. We could all use a little bit more of that in today's world. We love you. No, and I'm not going to cry.
Thank you to everyone who has helped me get to this special place in my life, and to all of my friends who could be here today. It is great to have you here on this very special day. Thank you so much to everyone who has been in my life so far. You all mean so much to me. I'd like to thank all of the Madrachim, teachers, tutors, and clergy who helped me learn about my religion, culture, and helped me to prepare for today. Next, I'd like to thank my amazing partner, Jacob, and his family. Jacob, you led really well. Mazel tov. I am so glad that we got to lead this morning service together. Thank you to all the family who have loved and supported me. It's great to be able to see everyone. I look forward to celebrating later. I'd like to especially thank my Grandma Marcia and Grandpa Marty for encouraging me to be crafty and, of course, watch the news. I'd like to also thank you, Grandma Jean and Grandpa Jerry, for inspiring me to be artistic as well as play and have fun. Next, I know I don't always say this, but thank you, Sophia, for always being my best friend and growing up with me, making me laugh, annoying me, and on occasion, getting me upset. I can't wait to support you as you become a bat mitzvah, just like you have supported me. And last, but definitely not least, thank you, Mom and Dad, for always being there for me, raising me, playing, and teasing me. I can't believe time has gone by so fast, but all I know is that you've been there for me through all of it. Thank you for supporting me and loving me. Mom and Dad, please join me on the beat.
Rachel, before we begin, we just want to wish Jake a mazel tov and family. It was an honor to share today with you, and we're so happy we got stuck with you. Rachel, when we dressed you in this onesie at 3 months old, I don't think anyone could have prepared us for how proud of you we would be today.
Or that the onesie might still fit. Over the last few months, we have seen you be so diligent in your preparations for this important day, from busting into your room and catching you chanting your Torah reading, to discussions about your Torah portion and what it's meant to you.
After you read me your speech for the first time, I remember saying, I want to be Rachel. I was so enthralled with your words and how you captivated your thoughts.
It really made us realize that you've paid attention during all those years of reading, and it wasn't all just TikTok videos and Minecraft.
Just remember, you can do anything you put your mind to.
So stay true to who you are.
Make and keep good, loyal friends.
Listen to understand.
You have more courage than you know.
And learn from your mistakes.
And when your Wi-Fi goes out, you always have a family to talk to that loves you unconditionally. We love you so much. That trophy's heart's beating faster, yours or mine. I think I need the tissue.
I want to invite the congregation to please stand. All right, I want you to face the ark, but what I also want you to do is to look up. I want you to look up at the phrase at the top of the ark. It's hard, I know. Okay, and you see that the word achin at the very beginning has an aleph. Do you see that? Yes. Okay, so I want to teach you something about what our rabbis say about the aleph, but first I want to say something just the two of you. When we had our first meeting, many kids come into the meetings with the rabbis, and they get super serious. And the two of you just would not stop laughing. I wasn't sure how we were going to get through this moment right now. And I know that that's also been the case for Cantor Thomas. Cantor Thomas said after the rehearsal that it was super giggly, is what she texted me. And you guys laugh so much, and your smiles are awesome, and it is such a beautiful thing. But I want to teach you something about that aleph. So Jacob is in the desert, and he wakes up from this dream, and he says, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh. Surely that God is in this place, and I did not know it. And the rabbis tell us about this aleph, that if you take a look at that aleph, and you see that big middle line that's in the middle of the aleph, and you see the two other lines that are above it and below it, right? That if you rearrange it and you put the large line up and down straight, and the two smaller lines on either side of the larger line, it sort of looks like a nose and some eyes. Well, I'll have to write it out for you and show it to you. Trust me. But here's what I want you to know. What the rabbis say is that sometimes when we look around at the world, it's hard to see God around us. That there are fires and there are winds and destruction and pain and difficulty. In many ways, the last couple of years in our community, in our world, has taught us how difficult it can be. And what the rabbis tell us is that when we have those questions, that the aleph of this phrase reminds us that if you really want to know where God is around us, if you really want to see where it is, just look into the face of the person next to you. You did it. And that love is God. And that the people who are around us ensure that God is in this place. And when we question it, and we don't know it, and things seem kind of tough, to remember that it starts with yourself and being able to see the humanity of others. You